In 2025, a national survey was done and it was given to young people across the nation preparing for the new 2027-2030 strategic plan for young people implemented by the government. Now, they're actually reaching out for businesses at the moment and individuals, organizations for input as well. I applaud the government for that, and I think it's a fabulous idea. Whether they take the recommendations, I don't know, because what I'm seeing after I wanted to submit my submission, which is here, okay, which once again, if you have a child in New South Wales or any sort of idea or inkling to have a family yourself, I would strongly suggest if you've got something that you think could help the situation we find ourselves in, please jump on the internet and fill out your submission. You can do it multiple ways. Long form submission is what I implemented, okay, or what I've provided. Whether they listen or not, I don't know. Now, the national survey, which was done in 2005, they went around and asked young people all around the nation what their thoughts and what their recommendations would be, okay? Now, 2,333 individuals filled out the form, sat in on lectures, group discussions. I'm close to 4,000 families, and I don't only speak to the teenager for over 250 hours, but also the parents as well, and sometimes the grandparents, so 3 generations. And what's talked about in this survey moving forward is not what's happening on the ground, I can tell you. Maybe the participants in these surveys that the government used were those more inclined to fill out a government survey, because I don't think many of the participants and families that I deal with that have been in the mental health system, education system, justice system would bother with a survey like this. So I don't know how accurate or how helpful the information provided in this survey would be to implement this strategy in 2027. Now, all the information is here, stacks of it. I'd suggest if you live in New South Wales, please move forward. Now, going through the stats, I am gobsmacked. I am shocked. 88%, as you can see on your screen to the left, 88% since 2007, our workforce in allied health has increased, basically doubled. For what results? Since 2007, anxiety in children is up nearly 300%. Depression is up in children almost 300%. Medication is prescribed at a rate unheard of. Suicide rates are skyrocketing. Now, everybody keeps telling me that it's the stigma that's been released, that everybody's coming in to get help. But if that was the case, these numbers shouldn't keep increasing so dramatically. We keep this up, we'll be a nation filled with allied health services such as counsellors, psychiatrists, and the rest of the population will be riddled with anxiety and depression, but more importantly, loaded up with medication. Now, if you have a severe mental health disorder that lasts longer than 12 months and you're medicated, your life expectancy drops dramatically. Now, what if I say to you that 75% of our youth are now being diagnosed with mental health disorders? Now, this also really sort of guides into domestic violence. Predominantly females, young females, are being diagnosed with anxiety, depression, self-mutilation, self-harm, and they got record numbers going into hospitals due to self-harm. Now, what happens when that female meets a male later on in life that's on ADHD medication, can't sit still, depressed, anxious, low self-esteem? It's not a male issue, domestic violence. It's not a female issue, domestic violence. It's a youth problem, domestic violence. What they are diagnosed with, these diagnoses are going through the roof. Everyone is being diagnosed. And isn't it a great system? 88%. Imagine if you owned a company and since 2007 till today, you doubled your workforce, you doubled your awareness, but yet you received 0 outcomes. In fact, you lost money. You didn't increase income. The company would collapse But yet these policy advisors keep just sinking money. If we keep doing this, we'll be a nation full of counsellors, psychiatrists. Here's another stat for you. Overall 12-month mental health disorders, 10% increase. Self-harm lifetime, 1.7 million Australians. Suicide rates doubled since 2007. Not got better. Children, 300% increase in anxiety. 1 in 2 females, if you have daughters out there, will be diagnosed with anxiety, depression, or self-harm and will be medicated on antidepressants. We got to rise up and do something about this. This is insane. I hope people out there are hearing this, because it is not normal to have 123% increase in people seeking psychologists. Now, this is another stat. Those that desperately need it, the statistic hasn't moved since 2007. But those who don't really need it, up 250%. This is destroying our nation. We need early intervention. We've got to stop relying on the same methodology. Can't handle a child, gets suspended from school multiple times. Parents are at work. They can't get controlled by this stage. Child is at home, hanging around the wrong peer groups, addicted to social media and technology. Now they don't want to go to school anymore. Before you know it, the family starts to become fractured. They go see a GP. GP gives them 10 free sessions. Next minute, they're at a counsellor. Next minute, they're at a psychologist. And then they're getting medicated. Now, they're promised that will help them improve. It doesn't. Mental health declines. Then all of a sudden, you have one of these statistics. Rinse and repeat. And then Allied Health now has a customer for life. This isn't the doctor's fault. This isn't the psychologist's fault. This isn't the psychiatrist's fault. This isn't even the politician's fault. This is the policy advisor's fault. How come no one's looked at these stats and connected the dots? It is horrific. If we don't do something soon, we're done as a nation. Please reach out to the government, tell them that things need to change. We need to be looking at mentorship. Instead of the government and state government spending so much money in one area, which clearly, how can you spend so much money and have so much resources trying to fix a problem, and 15, 20 years later, it's double, triple? Doesn't make sense. Who's looked at these numbers and who's connected the dots?